My name is Marcin. I'm living in Lincoln for over 8 years right now. I'm kickboxing coach, and I teach kickboxing in Lincoln for over 5 years
Okay.
at this moment.
Okay. Okay. Where are you exactly based in Lincoln?
So for the first 4 years, I was renting the space of other gyms, and right now I've just opened up my own gym, and it's on the Great Northern Terrace Venture Business Park.
How long you're open new
Over
place?
like 4 years, 4 months.
4 months.
Now.
So decently fresh, new venue,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so, what is the feedback you're getting from a community?
It's pretty good feedback, to be honest. I feels like I've built pretty good reputation under my name because I really care about the students. It's never that you are only just a number. I really want to build like a proper community when people stands together, that people share their passion, that's the place where people can come out of their shells, find the strength to change their lives, because that's why we do martial arts. That's what martial arts is about, not just about the fighting. And that's what I realized during the process, because at the beginning I wanted to have a gym with lots of fighters, like competitive gym. But during the process, I've noticed that it's not about this, and I remind myself why I've started, and my reason was completely different. I didn't start arts because I wanted to fight. I just wanted to protect myself, get the confidence, and feel better. So I think this is the most important thing. And it's like a misconception still, that people think they if someone's trained, they need to be aggressive, or when they step into the gym they feel intimidating, that someone's gonna to judge them, that the martial arts gym are full with egos, which is completely wrong from my own perspective. And this kind of community I'm building right now.
That's Marcin. One of the things that when I started in martial arts, I wanted to start way earlier, but the status quo in my family was that the boxing is and other martial arts is for aggressive people. It's creating criminals. And that was kind of what my mother's thinking, right? And I understand she was wishing all the best for me, to a certain extent. And it takes time for people to understand the martial arts. And what I realized is that the people who are well trained, not just physically, but mentally as well, yeah, they are the least aggressive people, because they realize the consequences of being aggressive, And when you understand the fragility and the millimeters importance of martial arts, you realize that there is no point of being aggressive, right?
Yeah.
It's the preservance, it's the solitude, what makes you the martial artist.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think that the people that they've never stepped into like any martial gym and they've never tried it themselves, they are just not aware of the possible danger that the trained person can cause. And because we've trained for so many years, we are aware of this, and we want to avoid this at all costs, because we are just aware what can really happen. And sometimes we just look like those weaker ones, because we just like turn around and just like may just I don't want any issues, and we look at those and we look as those people that they are weaker, but we are just aware of what can happen, really happen, and we just want to avoid this. So this is the thing, and I fully agree with you that some people think that just criminals do that, but the truth is that people that train martial arts are more humbled, more modest, and they just find a way to get rid of those bad emotions. So for example, if someone is like overloaded with stress, and for one person it might be doing some drugs on the street just to release that tension,
Yeah.
or having, you know, like silly fights in the town to release that tension. We do it in the gym, not against each other, but hitting the pads, hitting the bags, you know, because when we spar, it's always under control situations. We know what we're doing. So
Control the
yes,
danger.
of course, because we know how to control that power, we know how to control that speed, because we know how to control our body. And martial arts, like you just mentioned, it's not just about those physical aspects. It's all in there. It's all in there, and really, martial art change people's lives because people get confidence, because people learn that you need to spend certain hours, days, weeks, months to master even one technique. So that also teaches you to be patient, you know, to put the hard work into it, and it will pay off anyway later. So then you can put that into any aspects of life later, which is amazing.
So you mentioned that you 5 years ago you started
Yeah,
train
it
here,
was, yes, it was around like five. I mean, being a coach,
being a
because
coach. Yeah.
yes, because I've started martial arts when I was around like 11,
How old are you right now?
28,
28.
28.
A decent amount of
Yes,
experience, right? So 5 years, about 5 years ago, you started being a coach in Lincoln, right?
yes,
How many years ago you moved into Lincoln to live?
around 8.
Around 8 years.
Yes.
So I want, not from a perspective of martial artist. I want to hear a perspective from a member of community, right? How do you find Lincoln over these 8 years?
Hmm.
Lincoln, not as a, a compound of architecture, but as
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
community.
yeah, I get it. To be honest, when I moved here, it was more calm.
More calm.
Yes.
What do you mean more calm?
I think
Define it.
I think right now, because now I also do at the weekends security,
Yeah.
so I'm more involved into the
Nightlife.
nightlife. um, and I remember that years ago, even when I was going out, it wasn't that, how to explain that, how to put it into the good words.
Put them in the right words.
Yes. um, I feel right now people needs way more adrenaline and emotions.
They're going more into escape.
I, yeah, basically, yeah.
But that's what's happening, not just nationwide. I think globally. Like there is a lot, so much of a look. We are different generations.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all different generations. And before there was no such of a broad conversation of mental health or emotional intelligence. Right. That was
Yes.
till 1960s. Yeah, that was a big taboo. I could say that wasn't a conversation. Man's mental health was like, well, what do you mean mental health? Go work.
Yeah.
So I believe there is a consequences for everything.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So 8 years, you're saying that the biggest change is the like I could say the social issue. People getting more into this escapism
Yeah.
of being disciplined and maintaining that steady life emotions. I could say
Yes.
morality. Um, well, how do you see then that part when you became a coach? How the Lincoln community welcomed you? Because you mentioned that you've been using different sports facilities in the beginning.
Yes. I mean, it was hard. I must.
If you want, you can become Olympian.
Yeah.
You can become a champion in a division in a federation. It's not about that. It's about exactly the benefits, the under behind the curtain benefits
Yes.
that sports brings. So, is there any advice, a question, a wish that Lincoln community and Lincoln organizations would do more?
I think that, in my opinion, the top one is just to create awareness of how important this is, because, like in my opinion, 80% of depressions, mental illness, mental health stuff would just disappear if every person would spend 20, 30 minutes a day, even second day, just with just with exercises. People need to understand that they don't need to run marathons and bench 150 kg just to take care of their health. If you cannot run, just walk. Just spend a little bit of time with the activities, because it has massive impact on our physical health and mostly on our mental health. Like 80% of my students, they don't train because they want to become a fighter, because they have stressful life, and they saying that that's the real words. And because I'm asking my students, what's the real reason that why you train, because that gives me that relief. I have that my time just to focus, and people need to be aware of that thing, that when you step, it's not just about the martial arts, but even the gym, even go out, run. If you cannot afford any memberships at the
Just go
gyms,
out.
or just go out. Just go out. You don't need 150 pounds worth of shoes. Just put your
To
own,
run.
no, to run. It's
Have you tried barefoot shoes?
No, I haven't tried.
That's
I haven't
amazing.
tried.
That's amazing. To run, to hike, to walk. It's
But
amazing.
yeah, but when I go out to some park or something like that, I love to take my shoes off, because I feel connected
Yeah, yeah, of
more
course, of
with
course. Grounding,
more
grounding, grounding,
with
hundred
the
percent.
ground. Yeah, but yeah, the top thing is to bring that awareness, that it's so helpful, especially for your mental health. Because if your mental health it's in a bad condition, your physical health also is gonna be in the bad
Follows.
condition. Yeah, because if your body is stressed, you're just not gonna be healthy, and people need to understand that. So another thing, how let's say council or the government um, can create, sorry, not create, help the people. It's maybe create some like funding for gyms, or even not even in terms of like the gyms itself, but put the money into the creating that awareness.
For funding the awareness campaigns.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe, by leading by example, right? By showing ourselves the example, because, they also have million and one things to do. And of course, there is every infrastructure in the world,
Yes.
to support the things. But we ourselves, the people, we can show what we need, where we are headed and what we are looking for, right? So that's why it's important to ask for help. It took me time because I was struggling to ask help. Because that was for me. I don't want to beg to anyone. That was the deep mindset. It wasn't like verbally sounding in my mind, but that was a deep mindset. I don't want to ask anyone's help because I can do it on myself. But eventually you realize that you're creating a community and you have this mindset of I will do it myself. Like, what do you even mean about it? Like, yes, you can be a founder, you can do this, you can do that, you can run operations, but at the end of the day, it's about creating these partnerships. It's about
Yes.
going out to people. And I wasn't struggling with partnership, but asking for help. Well, how can you support me? How can you support this? How you can support this? How can you fund this? Right? That was the challenge. So I wish for you as well to take more action on that, and because you are that kind of a guy who is bringing the community up, and from the first meeting you clearly expressed your intentions, and you are standing by the virtue, not just the values of the word, but by the virtue, right? So I'm proud to have this conversation. Now I'm kind of ending this podcast with one request, right? So let's imagine that a million people is listening to it, right? But literally listening, that this message is touching all of them directly, right? What message that would be? What you would like to share with them?
That's a good question. Now I have a deeper conversation
I see.
inside of my head.
And that's the beauty of it, you know, when you understand the responsibility of the message.
Yes. Start loving yourself.
Yeah. How many problems and challenges we as human beings have, as a society, as a world, would
Yeah.
disappear if we would love ourselves. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's something.
Thank
Pleasure.
you very much.
Pleasure.
It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you.